She filmed herself. Before she ran, she looked directly into the camera and said, "If you're watching this, it means I am either dead or in a very, very bad situation." Then she got on a jet ski. She made it to international waters, and her own father sent a military team to drag her back. February 24th, 2018, 3 in the morning. A car moves quietly through the darkness toward the border between the United Arab Emirates and Oman. 2 women inside, no luggage worth mentioning, no plan to return. One of them, Sheikha Latifa bint Muhammad Al Maktoum, is the daughter of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, Prime Minister of the UAE, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men on earth. She has been planning this night for 7 years. At the border, they switch to jet skis. They ride 40 kilometers across open water in the dark to reach a 100-foot American-flagged yacht waiting in international waters. The yacht's name is Nostromo. The captain is a former French naval officer and intelligence operative named Hervé Jobert. His job is to get her to the United States, where she intends to ask for political asylum. For 8 days, it appears to be working. Then, the guns appear. To understand what Latifa was running from, you have to understand what Dubai looks like from the inside of its ruling family. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is not a figure who lives in the shadows. He is the architect of modern Dubai, the man who built the skyline, the airline, the horse racing empire, the free trade zones. Forbes has estimated his net worth at over $14 billion. He is received by heads of state. He has been photographed with world leaders at Ascot, at Davos. Dubai, under his rule, became one of the fastest-growing cities on Earth. From the outside, the Al Maktoum family is the image of 21st-century Arabia. From the inside, for at least 2 of his daughters, it was something else entirely. Latifa was born on December 5, 1985. She grew up with every material comfort that wealth could provide. She also grew up, according to her own testimony, without the right to leave. In 2002, at the age of 16, she tried to run for the first time. She was caught near the Omani border. She later described what followed: solitary confinement, 3 years and 4 months, beatings. What most people never heard was this: she was not the first. 4 years before Latifa's first escape attempt, her older sister, Shamsa, tried the same thing. In the summer of 2000, the Al Maktoum family was in the United Kingdom, staying at their Long Cross estate in Surrey, a $130 million property that functions, for all practical purposes, as a private compound. Shamsa was 18 years old. She had been told, according to those close to her, that she would not be permitted to go to university. She took a black Range Rover to the edge of the estate, left it in the street, and walked. For 2 months, she stayed with friends, first in London, then in Cambridge. In August 2000, on a Cambridge street, she was abducted. 4 men, described as Arab, and carrying guns. They grabbed her, one witness later said, kicking and screaming, put her in a vehicle, sedated her, and flew her out of the United Kingdom on a private jet before anyone could stop them. Cambridgeshire police opened an investigation in March 2001 after a woman calling herself Shamsa contacted them. The investigation stalled. Access was denied. The case went cold. In March 2020, a UK family court found, on the balance of probabilities, that Sheikh Mohammed personally orchestrated Shamsa's abduction, on British soil, in broad daylight. Shamsa has not been seen at a public event since August 2000. And here's what that means for Latifa. When she was planning her escape across 7 years, she already knew what had happened to her sister. She knew exactly what the failure state looked like. She made the 39-minute video anyway. The plan took 7 years because the plan had to be airtight. Hervé Joubert had done extractions before, including his own from Dubai, where he had previously been detained. He and Latifa spent years coordinating through her friend, a Finnish capoeira instructor named Tiina Jauhiainen, who had been hired to give Latifa lessons and had, over time, become her closest confidant. February 24, 2018. The border crossing in the dark, the jet ski ride, the rendezvous with Nostromo. Latifa was in international waters on a U.S.-flagged vessel. Under maritime law, she was beyond the jurisdiction of the UAE. The plan was to sail toward India, transfer to a plane, and reach U.S. soil where she would formally apply for asylum. On March 3rd, Joubert made contact with an Indian journalist. They were approaching Goa. It was almost over. The next morning, March 4th, Nostromo was intercepted. What came over the horizon was not a Coast Guard cutter. It was a military-grade operation. Indian Coast Guard vessels and Emirati Special Forces. Armed, moving fast. Latifa was on her phone during the boarding. She was texting Radha Sterling, the head of the advocacy organization detained in Dubai, who had been monitoring the escape. She told Sterling she could hear gunshots. Joubert and his crew, 3 Filipino nationals, were beaten. He was taken to the UAE, interrogated, and held until media pressure secured his release. The yacht, Nostromo, was towed back. It later sank in Sri Lanka under what the captain describes as suspicious circumstances. Latifa was loaded onto a helicopter, flown to Dubai. She was 32 years old. She had made it to international waters, and she had lost. Now ask yourself, how does a private citizen get the Indian Coast Guard and Emirati Special Forces to jointly board a U.S.-flagged vessel in international waters in 8 days with no advance warning? There are reports, including an investigation by the Daily Beast, that the UAE used a telecom surveillance technique to locate Joubert's phone, and that the FBI was drawn into the operation under false pretenses. Indian government sources were reported to have described the Indian cooperation as a quid pro quo. The UAE reportedly surrendered a different fugitive to Indian authorities in exchange. None of this has ever been officially confirmed, but the outcome is not disputed. If you're finding this story as disturbing as I am, subscribe. We cover the cases that get buried. More on that in a moment. For 3 months after the raid on Nostromo, Latifa was held in a prison facility. Then she was moved. The new location was a villa, beachside, close to the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, visible from every direction in central Dubai, the kind of address that, from the outside, sounds like privilege. Every window had been barred shut. There were 5 police officers inside the villa, more rotating outside. BBC Panorama's investigation later confirmed approximately 30 police officers working in shifts. She could not open a window. She could not go outside. She had no access to medical care, no trial, no charges, no release date. The only room she could lock was the bathroom. That is where she filmed herself. In April 2019, Tiina Jauhiainen received a message from an unknown number, someone who claimed to be able to reach Latifa. A phone was smuggled into the villa, and Latifa began recording. She recorded many messages over the following months. She authenticated them for credibility. She would state the date and announce today's top news story before speaking. To alert her if anyone entered her bedroom while she was in the bathroom, she carefully placed 2 small boxes near the door, the kind that would fall and make noise if the door opened. In February 2021, BBC Panorama broadcast the footage. She sat with her back against the bathroom wall. She said, calmly, "I am a hostage. This villa has been converted into a jail. I can't open any window, no access to medical help, no trial, no charges, nothing. Every day I am worried about my safety, and the police threaten me that I will never see the sun again. Her friend, Tina, told Panorama, "She is so pale, she hasn't seen sunlight for months." She had also, according to those close to her, gone over a year without a toothbrush. In December 2018, the ruling family needed to demonstrate that Latifa was alive and well. They arranged a lunch. The guest was Mary Robinson, former President of Ireland, former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, one of the most recognizable human rights figures in the world. The photographs from that lunch were released publicly. Latifa appeared present, composed. The family issued a statement saying she was safe at home. The world largely accepted it. But in the BBC Panorama footage from Latifa's bathroom recordings, she described what actually happened that day. She said she was brought to the lunch without being told who she would be meeting. She was never told that the woman across the table had run the UN's human rights operation. "If I knew that," Latifa said, "of course I would have said everything." She was taken back to the villa immediately after. Mary Robinson later told Panorama that she had been misled, that Princess Haya, then still married to Sheikh Mohammed, had told her Latifa had a serious bipolar disorder and that raising difficult subjects might cause further trauma. Robinson said she did not want to increase that trauma over a nice lunch. The UN's Working Group on Enforced and Involuntary Disappearances formally listed Latifa as a case. Human Rights Watch called her confinement a form of torture. The UK Family Court, now deep into the divorce proceedings between Sheikh Mohammed and Princess Haya, was building a detailed evidentiary record. In March 2020, that court found as proven fact Sheikh Mohammed had orchestrated the abductions of both Latifa and Shamsa. He had subjected Princess Haya to a campaign of intimidation. He had used NSO Group's Pegasus spyware to hack her phone and the phones of 5 of her associates, including a member of the House of Lords. This was not the judgment of a human rights advocacy group. This was the most senior family court judge in the United Kingdom. The UAE rejected the findings. In 2021, photographs began appearing. Latifa at a cafe in an Emirates shopping mall. Latifa at a waterfront restaurant. A photo at Madrid airport. The Free Latifa campaign, after years of exhausting advocacy, officially disbanded in August 2021 after her cousin stated she was happy and well. In February 2022, the UN Human Rights Chief met with Latifa in Paris and said she appeared well. She has been photographed. She has appeared. Whether those appearances represent freedom or management, controlled access to a curated public profile, remains genuinely unknown. No independent journalist has spoken with her freely. No statement has come from her without her family's involvement. Her sister Shamsa has not been seen at a public event in 25 years. The yacht Nostromo now sits on the floor of the Indian Ocean. Joubert, who risked his life to captain the escape, has received no accountability from any government for what was done to him in international waters. The Cambridge police investigation into Shamsa's abduction, a kidnapping conducted on British soil by armed agents of a foreign government, was closed for insufficient evidence. No charges have been filed. Dubai won more than $150 billion in foreign investment in the years following the 2018 escape attempt. The UAE continued to host Formula One, the Dubai Expo, international summits. Sheikh Mohammed continued to be received by world leaders. And here is what the 39-minute video said. the one Latifa recorded before she got on the jet ski, the one she released in case something happened to her. If this video is being seen, either I have died or I am in a very bad situation. She was right. The video was seen. The situation was exactly as she described it. The bathroom door is the only one she could lock, so that is where she told the world what was happening. Nobody sent the military for that. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, let us know where you're watching from and at what time you are watching. It helps to subscribe to the channel to keep this channel alive. If you have a topic we need to cover, let it know.